Hello everyone, and welcome to Nerd Lore. Marvel released our very first trailer for She-Hulk on Tuesday, and man, let me tell you, am I excited. In the comics, She-Hulk is a pretty important character, mainly in terms of the Avengers team, as she's very frequently seen carrying out missions as a part of the team. She also works as a superhero lawyer, representing various superhero cases, so hopefully this show starts to build her up towards that role, as it kind of looks like they are starting to do that. It's also good to finally see Hulk get some shine outside of an Avengers movie, as we haven't really seen too much of him besides his one solo film and Thor Ragnarok. Hulk has had massive amounts of development, with a lot of it taking place off screen, and then a lot more of it being rushed in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. So I'm hopeful to finally get some good development for Hulk in this show, but I'm also hoping he just doesn't overshadow She-Hulk in her own show. Wong is also confirmed to appear and will more than likely have ties with Abomination, as they were seen together in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now that we have everything established, let's get right into it. The trailer starts off with a few action shots that will presumably happen throughout the show that is narrated over by the Hulk. And then those few shots end with the teaser of She-Hulk in her suit, and this is the same teaser we've been seeing over the past few months of just her legs down. You don't really see the whole suit, but you do see some of it. If you pay attention, there is a very short shot of a car rolling down a hill. The synopsis for the show states that She-Hulk gets her powers after receiving a blood transfusion from her cousin Bruce Banner, so I would expect the show to open up on that note. She-Hulk gets a custom green Marvel Studios banner like some of the other characters get, and then we jump into a few shots of She-Hulk telling us that she is a lawyer with a hectic job, until we get to a scene with somebody from the government telling She-Hulk that they are starting a superhuman law division with her at the head of it. Which makes sense due to the numerous amounts of superheroes and villains that have popped up over the past few years in the MCU, and let's be honest here, it's pretty hard to hold them to the same standard as normal people. It cuts to a very small scene of Abomination in his human form in a jail cell, and as you look at the other side of the jail cell, you see Jennifer Walters right there getting ready to speak to him. My guess would be that maybe Hulk sent her to speak to him for whatever reason. I don't know that she just go talk to him for any random reason. But Jennifer Walters works with Bruce Banner on trying to control her transformation just as Bruce does, and Bruce goes on to say their transformations are controlled by anger and fear, which, as we know in the comics and in the movies, the angrier Hulk gets, the stronger he gets as well. So it makes complete sense that the calmer Hulk is, the more easily he's able to control his strength. The next small shot is Jennifer Walters waking up from what looks to be her car crash, as she looks in her reflection at her now green skin, and let's just say she doesn't look too happy about it. Hulk traps She-Hulk in a cell with blades approaching her, and she panics of course before she transforms, and you see her hands push back the wall coming towards her. This is a prime example of her and Bruce trying to work together to help She-Hulk control her powers, which we will see over the course of the show. It then shows a montage of Jennifer Walters trying to balance her life as She-Hulk, as she states she just wants to be a normal lawyer. This is a pretty common trope for a lot of superheroes, even Spider-Man, as he just wants to be like a normal kid. It shows her at a party with friends, and then shows her throwing a construction worker over, kind of just some quick little shots. It shows her and Hulk jump launching and training. Her friend then goes on to tell her she could become an Avenger, and She-Hulk says that it's only for billionaire narcissists and adult orphans, referencing Iron Man and Scarlet Witch in a little funny way. The trailer then shows a few more interesting shots, which all jump cut pretty fast, but I did get a few good pictures of them. The first being a shot of She-Hulk charging at Titania in a fight scene. If you aren't aware, Titania is a very infamous She-Hulk villain. In the comics, Titania was given her powers by Dr. Doom during the Secret Wars event. Her hometown was ripped straight out of her Earth and brought to Battleworld. When Dr. Doom was looking for supervillains, he found her, and using the energy outside of Battleworld, Doom was able to specifically craft a superhuman ability for her. Her abilities are extremely enhanced superhuman durability and strength, just like the Hulk and She-Hulk, but at a cost. Titania is extremely overconfident, and sometimes to her downfall, as it can get to her head. Kinda how Bruce Banner kinda works with his anger, kinda like the same concept but with confidence. Obviously we don't have Dr. Doom, nor have we even hit Secret Wars at all, so it would be really interesting to see how Titania gets her powers during the series. It next cuts to a small shot of what looks to be Frogman, who in the comics found an electrically insulated frog suit his father made out of coils. After finding this suit, he donned the identity of Frogman and went on various adventures, such as one helping Spider-Man and Human Torch take down a villain called Speed Demon. Now, Frogman isn't a hugely important character overall, but as for what role he'll actually play in the show is unknown, but it should be interesting since he's in the trailer, and if it's his role in that trailer is jump cut that fast, my guess is he'd probably be in the show a little more than just a small cameo. We see Titania break through a wall, which I assume happens right before her fight scene with She-Hulk. We next see Abomination back in his cell in his Gamma form, and his cell starts to flash red. I'm assuming somebody's getting ready to break him out. Maybe Titania for whatever reason, or even Jennifer Walters. Who knows at this point? The trailer then ends with a small joke scene of She-Hulk on a dating app and going on various dates until she finds a guy to go on a date with, as she picks him up and cradles him. That actually was really funny. I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. This trailer overall was actually pretty cool, and although it doesn't showcase anything major besides the introduction of Titania and the confirmation of Abomination, I'm really excited to see where this show goes and what all exactly sets up for the future of the MCU. It's also really interesting to note that over the past few months, there have been numerous huge rumors of a World War Hulk movie in development at Marvel Studios, and when there are this many rumors regarding a show or movie at Marvel, most of the time they turn out to be true. Not always, so take it with a grain of salt, but it could be something that does happen. A World War Hulk movie would base its storyline from the World War Hulk comic. In that story, the Illuminati did not trust Bruce Banner, and to keep it short, they tricked him into space on a jet to get him far away from Earth as his Hulk persona was deemed too unsafe to be on Earth. Hulk landed on Sakaar, which we actually see in Thor Ragnarok, as that movie did take a bit of the storyline from the comic. After landing on Sakaar, Hulk then met a girl and went on to have a child with her. The jet that the Illuminati sent Hulk to Sakaar on ultimately blew up, killing his family. Enraged to the point of no return, Hulk returned to Earth with a blood vengeance. Now, if the movies took this story and implemented it into the MCU, it would be interesting for more than one reason. One being that it could be seen as taking away all of the character development we've had for the Hulk since his initial solo film. Then again, the development we have had has been off-screen, like mentioned earlier, and extremely rushed, so it might not hurt to give him a clean slate and go from there. It's also very interesting because of the issues with Universal Studios and Marvel Studios, as Universal has made it quite difficult for Hulk to get any solo project off the ground, hence why we haven't had any since the first. With the cash cow that the MCU is now, it wouldn't be shocking if Universal and Marvel came to some sort of deal so that both parties could benefit. She-Hulk is set to release on August 17th and should be about 9 episodes long, meaning that they will be closer to the half-hour mark so that all the Marvel shows have a generally similar runtime. I would absolutely love to know your thoughts on the She-Hulk trailer and what direction you think they're going to take with the Hulk in general. If you have enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and check out my channel and subscribe as I post daily Marvel content.